Dating is really difficult these days. Why is it so difficult to approach a person and start up a conversation? Why is it so difficult to find love? These are the questions I am going to be answering in this video, and I have a few theories, and they could be linked back to research that prove why this is the case. The biggest reason I'd say that dating is hard is because of hookup culture. Now, I am pretty sure nobody is going to not know what that is. But I do have an explanation as to why it is so widespread, and probably could be backed up by research, and this explanation I haven't seen anywhere else. So basically, ever since World War II, back then, people were under fear from a potential war again and again, and so they preferred to stick together, relied on one another. People were able, and it was necessary for them to build a life together so that they were able to be stronger as a family and support each other. The reason being is there was not much opportunity. Opportunity is the key word here, because the woman tended to be more of a housekeeper and the man used to go out and work. Their responsibilities were equal, yet they had different duty within the household. But of course, this is not the main reason. I will explain it very nicely as I keep going. Families started to break off when feminism became a thing. Now, I'm not going to talk negatively about feminism. However, this does correlate with when hookup culture became more of a thing. But even before the rise of feminism, it had started to slowly appear once the fear of war started to fade. But here's the thing. It was not widespread. This was a very, very minor population. Hence why it wasn't noticeable, and why people didn't know it existed even back then. But it was at a minute scale. After feminism became a thing, things started to spread. There were more opportunities for women specifically. And with opportunities came the workplace for women, which in this workplace, they formed a different environment and found more opportunities. Here they could meet more people that perhaps were more suited to them. And so divorce started becoming a thing, because women finally found better happiness within other people. But here's the thing. With this came something else. This started to form from around the 80s, I would say. And it is a lack of purity. People started to go out more and socialize more, and you know what more. Hookup culture was a thing even back then, but it was less people. Now, here's the thing about hookup culture that I do want to emphasize. It is like a disease. How so? Well, let me explain the concept. Let's say there is an unhappy couple. They decide to divorce or split up or whatever, and either the man or the woman goes with another man or woman, and then they can't really find that purity because it's no longer a monogamous relationship. It's not been with just one person. You've accumulated a sort of body count. Now, when you go with more people, you desensitize yourself to what purity and from connection. You cannot connect as easily with the next person. But here's the thing. The person who has had previous relationships and goes on to a new one, when they eventually leave the person they're with, which they usually do, that person might have been pure. He might have never had a previous relationship, and this might have been his first. And when the other person leaves, let's just say for this instance, it's a woman. She leaves the guy she currently is with, and that guy had never been with anybody else before. He is now scarred, because now he has lost his purity, he has lost connection, and now he is losing himself. So what does he do? Try to find himself with the next woman. But of course, with the next woman, he cannot connect. And if this woman is pure, she starts to have the same symptoms as the guy. What symptoms he used to have. And this keeps spreading. This keeps chain reacting. And it keeps happening to the next person and to the next person and to the next person. And the reason it keeps happening is because relationships are easier formed by a person that's got experience with a person that doesn't have experience. And you can see from the 80s till now, this chain reaction has become an all-time high. And this is why now it is so prevalent. It's not that it came up just now. It's always existed. It's just now reached a critical mass where this effect has occurred to a lot of people. And now everyone just doesn't really care. Doesn't look for purity. Doesn't look for connection. Doesn't look for love. And this is the result. Desensitized people that just go casually. Speaking of the casual, we will talk about dating apps. Dating apps are the worst. I have tried them myself, and I've realized that they are not good at all. Not for men, not for women either. I, in fact, had gone plenty of matches, of which I couldn't really connect with these people. Because these people, based off of the previous topic, were pretty much desensitized to connection. And they couldn't connect with me at all. And the reason they cannot connect is because they're doing everything online. Even if we go on a date, it doesn't really matter. Sure, some people do find love through these apps, but it is a rarity, not the rule. The apps are designed to make the man desperate to spend money on them, so that he might find his match, which usually doesn't happen. And for the woman, they have variety and options like no other. And this is really, really bad because it desensitizes women in a different way. They look for the guy who looks the best, not that actually is the best. And you have to understand, looks mean nothing in reality. They are just a figment of your imagination. What matters most is actually character and personality. And I'm saying this as a guy who's moderately attractive. I have talked to many girls, and although it seems like looks would matter, which that's what the looks maxing community does say, obviously, but truth be told, in reality, they do not matter as much. Sure, you need to look decent, but if you had to put a guy with just his looks up against a guy with character, the guy with character wins all the time, especially if he has confidence. That is 100% one-sided, and it's not even close. This brings me to another topic, which is even more prevalent than what looks are about, what dating apps are, and in a way, even hookup culture. And this is groups of friendships. What I mean, from what I have gathered, and pretty much research shows this across history basically, it is so much easier to date someone that you already know or are friends with than a stranger. And this is what has happened lately. Those people who do not have friends, especially mixed groups with men and women, have a much harder chance of finding someone to have a relationship with. Unfortunately, this causes a lot of issues long term. As for the fact that if you meet someone within your group of friendships, whatever this person might be, whatever group they're from, and you start off well with them, chances are guaranteed that you both can find someone more suited to you outside of your friend group. And this is why a lot of dramas occur between friends that end up dating. It's because there's always someone better outside. But that's the thing. The fear of looking outside is what stops people from finding happiness. If people did not have this fear from the beginning, they would find their match a lot easier. Friend groups in the long term are a detriment. That's why they are easier, because it's the quick solution. But most people settle down just for that one person, so that it is convenient. This is also the reason why you might find couples that do not match, like one person is ugly and the other one is beautiful. This is the reason, ladies and gentlemen. It is because they are being put together because of their friend group. And this is, of course, the reason why there's a lot of divorces. It's because if you resort to someone because they're convenient, well, of course you're going to be unhappy. And it's because of this friend group thing that this is so high. Now, of course, you might be like, well, okay, but trying to go and find someone out there just like that, raw dogging it, is a lot harder. And yes, I agree, it is a lot harder, but it's high risk, high reward. The issue is where to find people that you have similar interests with. Because I know for a fact, you ain't gonna find them in the bar, or in the club, or even at a simple cafeteria. You have to find them in places where you have common interests, or you would have common interests with that person. Usually it involves some sort of activity, but even some sort of social event is also good enough, as long as you are genuinely interested. I will not go into detail where you should date the person that you require. If you want to see a video like that, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment the video, and let me know if you want to see a video like that, and I will in fact do it. But the next easy point to bring up is the rise of social media. And by the rise of social media, I mean since the early 2000s. Social media, just like dating apps, have opened up our opportunities. And with opening up our opportunities, we can see what could be. What I mean is we can see the ideal person in front of us with a scroll. And then we fantasize what we could potentially have. These unrealistic expectations have caused us to be very, very picky. And this is especially true for women. A lot of people believe what they see on the internet is real, and this is what they should have. But this is exactly the issue. You do not get this unless you're lucky, whatever that might be. The unrealistic expectations makes it so that you are even more miserable than what you were. You do not want to date because you know that you will not find someone suited to you. But imperfection is what makes relationships beautiful, because you have to kind of complete each other. And so finding someone that is perfect is not going to solve all your problems. In fact, it's not going to solve any problem. People have unrealistic expectations and standards, and this causes them to not fully commit to a relationship, because they know they could probably do better, even though they definitely cannot. But they always look for the next best thing, even though it's nowhere near them, and it probably won't ever come. And now I want to talk about the ripple effects of dating. Nowadays, a lot of men specifically are very single. Not many men find relationships. In fact, it's probably about 50%, which is not a lot at all if you think about it. And I just want to talk about one other thing that I have noticed personally, which deeply bothers me, but I do not see this ever talked about. And for me, this is off-putting for me. Like, I will never date a girl that does this, ever. And that is that I never find girls without someone. Like, they are always talking to some guy, either as a friend or they have a boyfriend. And it's constant. It's not like I go up and talk to random girls and find out, oh, they have a boyfriend. No, far from that. It's just that whenever I meet, just let's say I'm talking to a friend and he's got a girl as a friend. Well, guess what? She also has a boyfriend. And it's like, hold on a minute. Like, firstly, why do you have a guy friend? And secondly, why do you have a boyfriend? And then let's say she splits up. She finds another guy instantly. And this is the problem. It's like guys are so available for girls that basically the one who's first wins. And here's the thing. Usually that guy does not match with her. But if she has this mindset anyway, nobody matches with her anyway. So it's an infinite cycle of her going through whichever guy she finds in front of him, but he never, of course, matches until she settles for someone, just a random guy that she just talked to. And this is usually how it goes. Now, for the flip side, guys are just single. Most guys just prefer to be alone. This includes me as well. The rest of the guys usually settle for, well, someone who's had experience. And really, the true winners are those guys that just go for random girls, hopping from one to another, destroying their purity and leaving them for nothing, basically. Those guys are the real assholes, I will say that. And I am not saying the women who fall victims are innocent either. And also, I do not feel bad for, aka the betas, who end up with these type of women. So majority of guys are like you and me. You probably watching this video most likely do not have a girlfriend and are actively kind of avoiding it. You want one, definitely, but not really, because you know what it's all about. And unless you can find someone that's like you, you'd rather just avoid it. And this is bring me to the final point. Praying that the right person comes along is not a solution. I also have had my phase in which I go looking through Instagram DMs trying to find a girl and sending here and there. Have you ever seen that Jester meme? Yeah, that was me at some point earlier this year. And I quit because I had such a terrible experience that I'd never want to do it again. But it hasn't completely stopped me. I still go to conventions from time to time. Maybe I'll encounter someone with similar interests with me. At least I can say I'm still looking. Even though I risk my peace of mind, I get it. But honestly, being peaceful all the time isn't exactly good for you either. I get it, less stress and everything. But honestly, having some life around you is a different experience. And at some point, you're going to crave having some life around you. So do not give up. Even though dating does suck right now as it is. Currently it's 2026. Maybe you're watching this later. You do not give up. For whatever reason. You might think being single is peaceful. You might think it's too hard. Regardless of the situation, do not give up. And do not believe it is you that can't get a girlfriend. Or boyfriend for that matter. I don't know what you're looking for. Just try to go to the right place to find this person. And eventually the right time will occur as well. Thank you for watching this video. I'll see you all later. See ya, Chads.